So I don't know if you guys know, we're playing Monk right now. Do you know Mystical the Monk? He made a comprehensive video on why WoW PvP is broken and how it can be fixed. I want to watch it because I like Mystical. I think he's a nice, swell fella.
Reward from it.
Yeah, let's see.
It'd be so cool to be
Here we go.
able to just play any bracket you want and get full badass reward from it. And that's what I want. I want any player to play any bracket and get something cool rather than just having to wait until the last 2 weeks of the season to try to get a mount.
Yep.
That right now in the middle of the season, 99.99% of people don't have this mount. Now I gotta do some random battlegrounds. Maybe I do some rated battlegrounds. Maybe they like it.
99.99% of people.
And a Q arena. That's what PvP needs. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Mystical. Today, I am bringing you a different video than what I normally post. Normally, you'd see Mistweaver gameplay, but today I want to talk about just PvP in general, and I think the
cool transmog. Really cool transmog.
Ways to kind of fix some issues that you're running into. I think there are some fantastic voices in the PvP community. I think Venruki does a great job at expressing, hopefully making videos to Blizzard, and somehow
thank you.
Not enough. Somehow maybe there aren't enough voices. So I would like to be one of the voices for the PvP community and try to hopefully make it thrive again. I feel.
Can I turn it up a bit? Yes, I'll turn it up for you guys if you want. Let's turn it way up. I'll put it down on my side.
Like we are in a slump right now. Really, it kind of feels like it's kind of struggling. And for the past, I would say expansion or two, it kind of feels like every season kind of bleeds a little. Where I feel like WoW PvP is kind of hemorrhaging.
He said, "I see why you wanted to watch this video now." I didn't know that. He said that. Okay.
And we aren't getting a lot of players, new players especially. And every season we just lose more and more players. So today, I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I'm going to go through kind of everything that I feel like are a lot of the pain points of PvP and ways to fix it. And I just want to note, these are all my opinion. These are not facts. I will probably say something you don't agree with. That is okay. Feel free to let me.
I will say, you know what? Just to be clear, if I disagree with him, I'll say, but I think Mystical's a swell guy. And he loves this game. Mystical... I first found out about Mystical. I don't even know when, honestly. I've lost all perception of time at this point, but I remember watching Mystical's content, and this is in his early days, and I was like, man, this guy just genuinely, he's a great player. He just loves his class, and he just makes really good content. I just liked him. He's sick.
We know. I'm sure you still will.
And the Mistweaver, like the Mistweaver community is super lucky to have someone like this, you know? Just like the Survival Hunter community is lucky to have like Big Mix, and he just makes really good content.
But with that said, let's jump right in the video. I want to start off with, I think, one of the biggest pain points of PvP, and that is just the lack of communication. I genuinely don't think it would be that terrible if there was something. And no one can convince me that there isn't anyone that can give us communication, because I have 3 examples here I'm going to pull up of communication from Blizzard, and they're just, I don't know if they just don't want to. I'm not sure. So the first thing is Treesap Jake. He's one of the, I think one of the guys on the Technically PvP podcast, and he has been trying for 709 days.
Yeah, for like 2 years, he's been tweeting at Warcraft devs, and Bloated Entertainment to make a dedicated WoW PvP Twitter for communicating with the PvP community. He's been ignored for 2 years.
709 days asking Warcraft, Watcher Dev, anybody, literally anything, to have a WoW PvP Twitter for communicating with PvPers. And that is slightly alarming, just a little bit. There has been no feedback at all. I mean, this is over 700 days, which I find kind of crazy. And I was like, I always thought, you know what, they're busy, that's fine. But then they dropped this for Mop Classic, which is just crazy. This guy, Aiden, works at Blizzard, and they have so much communication for Mop Classic. This is just them going through dampening changes, by the way, these are really cool. And if you plan on playing Mop Classic, this is amazing. And you're able to control the dampening and the dampening levels that the matches start in, because the games can go on for so long. So this whole time, like that, I saw Treesap Jake doing this. I was always under the impression, there's no one. So
many words communicated. Yeah, I've been tweeting about this too. It is very disheartening that like the classic community has a dev that's like asking them questions and interacting and willing to take chances on things. And like the main Twitter account that I kind of responds to the retail stuff hasn't actually made a single post in 2 years. So I understand the concern of like not wanting to be in like the position of Halinka, where you're basically just the punching bag of the community. You know, you're the face of the community, but you're also the punching bag of the community. I get that, right? Like some people said some really terrible things, but I feel like at the very least they should just have an anonymous account. They already have an anonymous account. Like it doesn't have to, doesn't have to be a face, you know, it doesn't have to be anyone's name, but I think just having some communication is important.
When there's no time, but there is time because they have time for Mop Classic. So it's just this little communication here.
So one thing that is important to remember is it's actually completely different teams. Like the teams that do Classic and the teams that do retail are completely different. And I think they have different like policies on communicating. At least I think. I don't know for sure, but I think they actually have different policies on, like whoever's in charge, they have different policies on how they communicate to the community. So it might actually just be like forbidden for them to talk to the retail community for all I know. I don't know that, but it could be possible.
That I just feel like would go so far. Anything. I think PvPers are just looking for anything, anyone to communicate pain points in PvP with. So this was kind of eye-opening to me. And then the last thing is just on the Glad mounts, by the way, in case anyone didn't see this. This is
Barndor says there's much more red tape for making any kind of retail changes. That is correct.
From Lika. He made the dress for our website that
Yo,
most
Ruby
of us
Dooby.
probably use.
Thanks
so
for the
he's
sub,
an amazing
man.
guy. And this was Shadowlands Season 4. The Keystone Master Mount was changed within 24 hours because it was too similar. This is the tweet. This is the original tweet right here. This was the original. Everyone complained about it, and then they changed it.
Yeah, that was actually sick. I don't know if you guys remember that. Basically, they made a garbage Season 3 Keystone Masters mount that was essentially the same as the prior season. And the community complained, and then they got a recolor that people actually liked. That would be cool if they did that for retail, too. I mean, for PvP, right? The Glad mount.
They changed the color of it. So it is possible to do, and it's just a little bit frustrating to see this because no one likes the bat mounts, genuinely. Like, I hate to say it, like, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry for anyone who worked on it. The model is actually cool. The model is cool. I'm not going to lie. It doesn't fit the theme of the expansion. I'm not really into lore. I actually don't care. But the colors are just awful. I mean, I'm sorry, but just any kind of recolor or design. They could even, I don't see why they don't just make the design similar to the Dragonflight mounts where it has like the same wings. Like imagine that mount, it would look a little, I mean, it would still look kind of rough, but like imagine if it had these wings or something like that. Or cool animation. And I'll talk about rewards further in the video, but I just want to start off with the communication.
PvPers love glowy shit.
There's a severe lack of communication with PvPers, and all it takes is one person, one channel for people to just express pain points in PvP and get maybe some feedback back, which would be amazing. Because whoever, I mean, the person that did the Mop Classic and that's communicating the dampening changes is amazing. One more thing to note about PvP is we don't need a Twitter or anything like that, but when there are interviews, maybe give us more than just like a minute and a half to 2 minutes. It would be really nice to hear from the developers themselves and give us like, I don't know, give 5-10 minutes, something on maybe updates or future plans or balancing. Something like that would go so far. It really would. And I'm not anyone special or crazy or anything like that, but I'm a PvPer who enjoys WoW PvP, who enjoys playing World of Warcraft. And I just feel like when there are 40-minute long interviews and PvP gets 2 minutes, it feels
2 minutes. the last like campfire, it was 12 seconds. It was actually 12 seconds. It was like a 15-minute video, and they talked about PvP for 12 seconds. And in that video, where they talked about it for 12 seconds, 3 seconds of that 12 seconds was somebody saying, I'm not going to do that. I was like, oh yeah, don't worry, PvPers, there's a brand new island for you. And someone says, I'm never going to go there.
It's bad. It does feel bad a little bit. So it would be nice to have like a dedicated, person or a dedicated time allotted for PvP to just talk about maps, balancing, maybe certain specs and future plans that are coming to PvP. All right, I kind of want to go bracket by bracket and go over some pain points, and then I will be talking about rewards and hopefully future things that they could add to hopefully add PvPers to the game. And I have all my notes written down right here because I don't want to forget anything. So I want to talk about, I'm laughing at poor thing, the most neglected bracket in the game. And that is without a doubt RBGs. RBGs, I'm also going to talk about BG Blitz and random battlegrounds. So this section will be battlegrounds, but I do want to quickly talk about RBGs for a second. And I just want to say,
I have quite a bit of thoughts about RBGs, so I'm curious to see what he says.
I genuinely feel bad for RBGers. The bracket, in my opinion, is one of the most fun brackets in the game. I am a huge fan of BG Blitz. Random Battlegrounds, you'll catch me in there from time to time, and Random Battlegrounds are fun. But do you know how many rewards, exclusive RBG rewards, they've added to the game since MOP?
0.
Exactly 0. If you play MOP Classic, and you play
0.
Retail, and you get Hero of the Alliance or Hero of the Horde, you have the same reward for this entire time. It is crazy. There is such a dedicated fan base to RBGs that literally play every season for the same reward. There are people with like 30 hero titles. Nothing's been added. There no mount, no battle
Nope.
pet. They added the pennant toy, but you can also get that from Solo Shuffle. The only thing they are playing for is a title that most of them have gone 20 plus times, and it's sad. It really is. I think BG Blitz was a huge win for Battlegrounds,
Yep.
and I think, in my opinion, because I also do random Battlegrounds from time to time. I think what they need to do is they need to convert random Battlegrounds to BG Blitz style because it's much more fun. BG Blitz is much more fun.
This is something I 100% agree with. Actually, I think they should do. I don't know how I feel about RBGs. I feel like RBGs have a huge barrier to entry, but I will say the Blitz style rules feel very updated, and I think it would be nice if random Battlegrounds had a similar rule set. Some of the rules suck, like Eye of the Storm. I think most people would agree, or Garbanzo rules, and they could probably make it better. But yeah, High MMR RPG ball games are actually so fun and unique. Yeah, I don't know. Like, part of me feels like for RBGs, even RBGs should have the Blitz rule sets, and it should go down to 8v8 instead of 10v10. And I think it would make it better. But I don't know. Maybe it's too similar. But I genuinely feel like the RBG rule sets are worse than the Blitz rule sets.
The res timer is faster. The objectives are much more fun. So I think that's what they need to do. And then as far as like
What's up, Dilbar?
rated Battlegrounds and BG Blitz, I know this won't be popular, and I truthfully don't do enough RBGs to have credit
I'm down to play threes after this video.
to saying this, but I do think that they need to convert rated Battlegrounds to BG Blitz style.
Okay.
Because it's
We
just so
agree.
much more fun to watch and play. I was watching the We Tyler BG Blitz tournament, and I feel like BG Blitz right now without voice it can seem random. I feel like most of the time the better team does win. But when you add voice comms to BG Blitz, I feel like the strategies kind of go to a next level up, especially with good players doing it too. So I that's just my opinion. I actually think that they should, and I feel the same way about Solo Shuffle, by the way. I genuinely feel like they need to get rid of Blitz and Solo Shuffle and add it to these brackets. I think that 5 brackets is too much. It's too much to balance. It's too much for rewards and all that. So I would honestly get rid of Solo Shuffle BG Blitz and bake it into 2s, 3s, and RBGs. So let's just say I want to do a random battleground or a rated battleground right now. I just hit join battle. It'll find me, another healer, DPS, and we can queue right up. So, and the same thing with 3s. If I wanted to heal, it'll just find me 2 DPS. That's it. Yes, it does suck that you're going to get into maybe an 8 stack, in rated battlegrounds or 3.
So he's talking about like solo queue into threes instead of shuffle. Now, I actually am one of those people that I think shuffle's good. I personally like shuffle a lot. For a lot of different reasons. One of the reasons why I like shuffle is because there's a lot of variety in the gameplay. You'll have a lobby that's all melee. You'll have a lobby that's all casters. You'll have a lobby that's 1 caster, 3 melee. You'll have some class stacking. It's just, I think it makes it interesting. Every time I queue a shuffle, the gameplay is a little bit different because of the comps and stuff like that. One thing I find in threes, why it gets a little boring and repetitive to me, is sometimes there's just an OP comp and everyone plays that OP comp and it's kind of boring. So I kind of like the chaos, and I like that lots of different classes get to play and stuff like that. I understand that a lot of people want like more of like a solo queue 3v3. I do think it's an issue that there's too many rated PvP modes right now. But yeah. So I don't know what the solution is though.
But that's just what it is. I play games with my brothers from time to time. I play Valorant and I play Counter-Strike or CS2. I think that's what it is now. There's just sometimes you're gonna queue into a 5 stack. It is what it is. You're gonna lose and then you queue up again. And the good thing about WoW is WoW Arena, you're probably gonna play like it's a 5-minute game, maybe you lose in 3 minutes and then just queue right back up. You lose, you queue right back. It's fine. Like it's fine. Same with the rated battlegrounds. You lose, the team was better. You made a mistake. It doesn't matter. You just queue right back up. It's fine. It's quick. It's fantastic. It's better than waiting 20 minutes, 30 minutes for a solo shuffle or a BG Blitz queue. It's awful, really. So I know that won't be popular to say, but I do feel that way. I've never been a fan of having separate brackets for these two. I always felt like the system of solo queue should be baked into the brackets themselves rather than being.
You wonder if I watch movies sped up too? Yeah, no disrespect, of course. I just put it a little faster. I don't watch movies sped up. I just YouTube videos. I make it just a little faster. You save a good amount of time,
Separate bracket. With that said, they also need to add rewards to rated battlegrounds if they're not going to do that. They really do. Like, please, I'm Blizzard. Give these guys a mount, a recolor, something. Please. They play
There's absolutely no reason at this point there should not be a unique mount for shuffle. There should not be a unique mount for blitz, and I think blitz and RBGs could probably share a unique mount. But yeah, they're having no rewards for these modes is it's hilarious. It's really, really hilarious.
bracket. It's the most dead bracket. I feel so bad for them, but they need to add something. And I'll also talk about rewards later in the video, but I just want to talk about rated battlegrounds because I don't think they get talked about enough. I think that they should be the face of WoW PvP esports as well. I really do. I think the viewing experience on BG Blitz and even rated battlegrounds is much more, it's easier to understand what is going on in a game than Arena, right? Because in Arena, if you've never played WoW, or even if you're newer to WoW Arena, and you're watching, you know, AWC, you have no idea who's winning until someone dies. Genuinely, like, truly, like, the viewing experience is rough, and I don't think that can change. I think it's just how WoW is. But when it comes to rated battlegrounds and BG Blitz, even if you're, you know, newer to the game, never played it before, you can tell, you know, on Warsun Gulch, if there's a team up 1-0, you know which team's winning, right? You know, same with the Wrathy Basin or Deeper Gorge. You know if someone's at 1200 and there's another team at 800, the team that's at 1200 is winning the game. So you just need that. You just need a little understanding. Dalton. And then maybe that catches someone's eye and they try.
Who is this video? This is a video by Mystical. He's a content creator. He's a Mistweaver content creator. He's a one-trick Mistweaver monk, but he's a really nice guy. Really good content, really nice guy. I definitely check out his channel.
Play it. So that's my opinion. I feel like if they're not going to change rated battlegrounds or, you know, and bake BG Blitz into it and make it the same kind of, you know, objectives, they should at least give it its own reward, please. I do want to talk about something positive, and that's gearing this expansion, and actually in Dragonflight too. I think gearing is fantastic. The only thing I would highly recommend, which I don't quite get, maybe there's a reason, maybe there isn't, in an expansion where I can transfer most currency, I don't know why I can't transfer my conquest. I actually hate these boxes. I know the boxes are great for gearing alts, but why are they in the game when I can transfer honor? You know, if they want to add like a 10% penalty, whatever, fine, do it. You know, it is what it is, okay? But I'm so tired of opening boxes on my alt and getting the same trinket, adapt trinket 4 times. I even getting...
I just did that. Look at this. I just went through that. I got 2 offhands. I got 4 of the same staff, 2 belts. Like, it really feels outdated. Getting the same piece over and over again is not fun. Maybe even if they added like bad luck protection, right? Like, let's just say you got a helm. Maybe you can't get a helm until you have like conquest and all other slots. I don't know. For me personally, why not just add the ability to transfer conquest and just let me transfer it to my alts? I don't know. I actually think the reason why they haven't done it yet is they think it's too easy to make alts. And people instantly having full bis on alts and like noob stomping. I think they're trying. My guess would be is they're trying to slow it down a little bit. It's already like you get geared instantaneously, but I think they're trying to make it just a little slower. But I think they should just let you transfer at this point.
Because the box, it's just frustrating.
Also, why is there an honor cap? Let's talk about that. Why is there an honor cap? Explain that to me like I'm 5. Why? Thank you.
It's just a small little thing that's kind of frustrating when you're spending your conquest and you're gambling on hoping you're going to get an upgrade on an alt, and it's just the same piece over and over again. Other than that, gearing is fantastic. Well done between Dragonflight and this expansion. I think that the crafting system, although kind of, you know, tedious to learn, is a little bit annoying. I actually think it's a fantastic system. I think it's great. It's a great alternative to the conquest gear. I love the trade-off with lower versatility but higher of, you know, haste mastery, crit not too much, but I do like that trade-off. I think it's fantastic. Another caveat is the trinket bonus. This is good. I wish there was more balance around it, just a little bit, you know, especially when damage feels as spiky as it is, because right now it's pretty spiky. It's a little random. It's kind of hard to tell when damage is coming. I wish that there was slightly more balancing around this, because you can adjust this across, you know, DPS, even buff it for healers and stuff like that, and kind of work with that, see how that feels, you know, small little changes to kind of balance things out. But besides that, I think the gearing system is doing WoW PvP very good. Next, I'm going to talk about Solo Shuffle, and I want to make this very clear. My opinion of Solo Shuffle is that it saved a dying bracket. It really, genuinely, I think Solo Shuffle saved 3s so hard. I think it is a net positive on WoW PvP, even though people have negative feelings about it. I
saved 3s or just saved Arena?
I think it's good for the game. However, most people know my opinion on it. Again, I really wish it wasn't a separate bracket. I really, really wish this system, because when they first announced Solo Shuffle, I was like, that's cool. That's awesome. That's great. We can just queue 3s whenever we want. Not really, right? There's a lot of RNG in it. You know, dampening it ramps up faster. So as a healer, you're not allowed to make plays, which is kind of boring. But overall, it is a net positive. I do feel like, of course, similar to BG Blitz, it should just be baked into 3s and 2s for sure. I really feel that way. I think that spreading the WoW PvP community thinner is not a good way to go. There's already not a lot of PvPers, right? Like, I ask this question a lot, and it's, you know, how many people do you actually think PvP? Out of 10 people, how many people do you think PvP? In my opinion, it's probably like 2 out of 10 people, probably PvP. And you're spreading them.
That's generous. Like 2 out of 10 WoW players? I feel like it's got to be 1 out of 10, maybe less.
Been thinner. I'm not a fan. I think the less brackets, the better. It's easier to balance. The brackets are gonna have more inflation because more players play, which is great. And I think that's a net positive for the game. The biggest issue from solo shuffle that I have run into, and I am a healer main, so of course I'm gonna say it, and that is 3-3s result in losing MMR, and that should not be how it's run, especially for healers. I don't get the logic behind it. I really don't. I try to understand it, but this, from my experience, and a lot of these videos they talk about it, but they don't feel like it's not mostly from a healer point of view. So from a healer point of view, and I'm sure most healers can relate to this, this is solo shuffle for me. All right. 1 DPS will 6-0, which results in both healers going 3-3. That's awesome for the DPS. That's great. Fantastic. I lose MMR for that though. I lose MMR. A DPS is probably not in a bracket they should
You don't always lose MMR. Sometimes you gain MMR, sometimes you lose MMR. While I do think the system is not the best, you don't always lose MMR, right? It depends on what you're queuing into.
be in. And they go 0-6. There's nothing you can do about it. I know some people make the argument like, oh, could you have healed better? Maybe. But if a DPS goes 0-6, maybe it was an unlucky lobby, but that's the results of me going 3-3, and I lose MMR. I lose MMR for that for someone that...
You can gain MMR too. I'm just saying, it's like a 50-50 chance you can gain MMR too.
Wasn't in the right bracket. Or the most frustrating one is when a DPS should have gone 6-0 or 0-6, but a DPS on your team went and didn't press any defensives. They just didn't press any cooldowns and they died. And now you go 2-4. That is probably the most frustrating loss. And that happens often too. And then as a result of that, you lose rating, like so much rating. Because for example, if you go 3-3 3 games in a row, you lose MMR 3 games, and then you go 4-2, you're not gaining any rating. You're only going to gain your MMR back because you didn't lose any rating. But if you go 2-4 after you went 3-3 a few times, you're losing 60 points easy.
I'm pretty convinced, by the way. We were having a conversation about this. I actually think the best thing that they could do is just hide MMR. I think it should literally just be invisible, and it wouldn't feel as bad. Like literally just hide MMR completely. Don't even show it ever. Because I think these problems exist in other games as well, but you just doesn't feel as bad because you can't see it. You can't see it.
So the risk versus reward is just the biggest issue for me, I feel like, because the risk is I go 3-3 and lose MMR, and the reward is I gain 5 rating for going 4-2. It's rough. It really is terrible. There's something wrong with the system when if a DPS or the other healer leaves a shuffle, I actually gain more MMR than if I went 4-2. And that's happened every time. If someone leaves, I actually gain MMR, which is absolutely painful, which I do want to talk about levers as well. So levers in solo shuffle are another kind of a huge pain point because you don't lose MMR. Or you used to not lose MMR, but now you...
I don't think the numbers they show are generally good. They need something like bronze, silver. People are staring at numbers. Yeah, I think so too. Like I play HOTS. I don't know what my MMR is. I don't know what I am right now. Silver 1 or something. Silver 1, silver 2, silver 3. Like the progress bar there definitely feels better than the WoW system. Sid, does it feel better in other games? Yellow Hell wasn't a WoW term originally? Oh, of course not, yeah.
Or you don't lose MMR. You used to lose it when you left, but now you don't, which encourages people to leave if they're losing, which is painful. And so I also feel like leaving the debuff and the losing rating is actually it's too strict for the first time it's happening. So if I disconnect in a solo shuffle for the first time in years,
I think that's right.
I lose 150 rating, 15-minute debuff. I don't think that's how it should be. I think it should be an incremental debuff that you get. So if you leave a solo shuffle, you don't lose rating. You probably should lose some MMR, but you don't lose rating because who knows? It was a random disconnect. It is what it is. And then you get a 15-minute debuff, right? And then if it happens the second time within the same week, maybe you get a 30-minute debuff, the second time, and then you lose 50 rating and MMR. If you leave a third time in the same week, it should be a 1-day debuff. I mean, I'm talking 100%. 1 day, you cannot queue arena across all of your accounts, and you lose like 100.
Dude, what if your internet's being shaky one day, though? I think there's probably I don't know. It is brutal though. Like Battleground Blitz is the worst because last season especially it took so long to gain rating in Battleground Blitz. Like to gain 20 rating in Battleground Blitz maybe took like 15 wins, which maybe takes 25 games, which takes 5 days of queuing straight, And then you get a disconnect and you lose all that progress. It's so brutal.
Points. And then if you leave a fourth time in the same week, you should lose 150 rating and get a 1 week debuff across all of your accounts. Personally, this isn't even strict enough. If it was up to me and people were purposely leaving, I would actually have them permabanned. But obviously, that's a little too strict. I get that. It's a little too extreme. It's fine. But I feel like incremental debuffs is what they need. That way, and then anytime you leave after, in the same week 4 more times, 1 week ban and 200 rating loss. So because there's some people, they just disconnect. It happens. I had a disconnect a few weeks ago, and I lost 150 rating, and I don't think that's fair. It's not fair to people that get a random disconnect. Or someone leaves. It's just awful.
What's
you
up,
can
Hit?
even increase the window. Like maybe if you leave once or twice a month, then you keep incrementing that debuff rather than just a week. So that is a pain point I know as well. And then DPS, I started gearing my Devastation Evoker and I started playing Dev Evoker for the Elite set. Leavers are awful. And if you're a DPS and you were in a lobby where DPS didn't join or left, you should get priority queue as well. There is no reason why you should wait 30 minutes to 40 minutes in a queue, just sitting here, waiting for a queue to pop, picking flowers or mining. It doesn't matter what you're doing in between. You're still waiting 30 to 40 minutes. And a DPS doesn't join and you're sitting in another 30, 40 minute queue. That's terrible. That is awful. And then you're already tilted. You're already annoyed for the next solo shuffle. So maybe you play worse. Maybe you get a little toxic. You know what I mean? So 100%, if a DPS or healer leaves your game within the first 3 rounds, I do think that if you're a DPS in that lobby, you should get priority queue. Maybe this could be abused in some way. I don't know, but I think Blizzard should address this. My last take in solo shuffle
agree
is
with
they
that.
need to
I agree with that. I don't know. Have you guys ever had a lobby where you wait 40 minutes, you queue in, only 5 people join the game, and then it ends, and you have to re-queue? Like, that happens all the time. I think that in a situation like that, it should always give you priority into the next game. 100%.
increase the number of spots for rank 1. That's pretty much it. The game is so much more fun when you have rewards that are like, you can taste it. You're right there. So let's just keep queuing and let's get there. But when there's only 3 spots per spec and you play a spec that's just awful or no one plays it, there's not even, what's the point? I mean, I get practicing. That's cool. I get queuing arena. Fantastic. But after you get 2,400, there's nothing. There's literally no other reward. You could farm legend maybe in the pennant, but you could still just win, loss, win. Like, it's not that motivating in my opinion to really go for that. So
Yep.
I would increase it. Genuinely, I take things a little extreme. I would increase it to like 15 spots. Top 15 in each spec is crazy, by the way. But they could increase it to 10. I think 3 is too low. 3 is abysmal, especially since.
So my opinion on this, he's talking about how many people get like the named Gladiator. We won't call it rank 1, but like the rank 1 title. We will call it rank 1 title, but like the named Gladiator or named Legend. I think what they should do is increase the base slots, exactly what he's saying. So instead of like for Arcane Mage, for example, it's always only 3 slots. I think for every spec, it should be at least like 5, 6. I wouldn't even mind if it was like 10. And then they should just make, I don't really like that based off how many people are playing the spec, it adds more spots. So you have like specs like, Rep Paladins and Frost Mages and Warriors, that just a bunch of people play those specs, so there's way more titles, and that feels very arbitrary to me because a lot of the time people play those specs because they are better. So like Frost Mage, for example, last season had like 10 rank 1 titles. Arcane Mage only had 3, and I would make an argument that significantly harder to get that top 3 as Arcane Mage just because it was a less popular spec than to get the top 10 as Frost, even though Frost is the better specialization. If that makes sense. Like, I just feel like the named rank 1 slots don't need to be so exclusive. I think it's way too crazy. I think that about rank 1 and 3s also.
We're not getting a lot of new PvPers, and not everyone queues solo shuffle either. So I think they should increase the rank 1 reward spots. If they don't ever plan on baking it into 2s and 3s,
what do you mean?
Similar to
Snake?
Like, they just need to make the rewards more enticing for people to keep queuing. You want people to keep queuing. The next thing I want to talk about, and you can feel that right now, is the middle of the season and making people want to play in the middle of the season. This is the most painful part of the season. PvPers have figured it out. The first 2 weeks and the last 2 weeks of the season are the best times to queue. That's when most people are back to the game. They've also figured out MMR is super inflated in the last 2 weeks of the season because they each week they add incremental MMR or inflation.
It's insane.
To each bracket. So right now queuing is infinitely more difficult, probably 10 times more difficult than queuing at the end of the season, like the last 2 weeks, even the last week, because MMR is deflated. This, in my opinion, it takes away the fun for me. I really feel that way. And it's awful because then you get a bunch of new players that queue into high-rated people on alts, because it's deflated. So it's just killing the fun for a lot of players. The high-rated players, the low-rated players, like, it's just not fun. So in my opinion, what I think they should add is they should add a renown track similar to what they added to the PvE. I think they added it for rating, where I think if you kill a certain number of bosses, you can increase your renown. And I feel like this is a system that is pretty easy to add. And I want to bring up an example of a game that, in my opinion, does it really well. Now, I don't play many other games, but I do play Hearthstone, and they have a renown track every season. So here's the renown track, and it offers things. In Hearthstone, you have gold, you can buy packs of cards for it, but it's just small little things. You can get a free pack of card, you get a hero portrait. It's awesome. There's certain like thresholds. You get a golden card, a new hero portrait. Amazing. And WoW PvP, I swear, could benefit from this so much. With the addition of Vicious Bloodstones, every 5 renown, a Vicious Bloodstone. Wow, PvPers can make gold. Maybe even gold, flat gold, right? Because this is gonna be account wide. Maybe you add 1,000 gold as a reward, 5,000 gold. And then you could also add achievements to help increase your renown track, right?
I like it.
There's so many things that they could do, right? So for an example of like a little mini achievement they could add, get precog 1,000 times. The reward from that is an updated animation of precog or a recolor of it, right?
Yeah.
Because precog gives you lightning around you when you get it.
Oh my God, he's cooking,
What if it was red when you got precog?
What if it was red? What if there was like, dude, imagine how much fun, like, if I sat down with Mystical and like 5 other PvPers and we just brainstormed fun ideas, like how much we could cook,
Blue. What if it was green?
Holy shit,
like
green.
Just little color variations for little achievements that they can add would be amazing. What if at renown 50 out of 100, you account wide, you get conquest faster? That way you don't need to wait for Blizzard to add it in a random patch
I like it.
where no one's playing in the middle of the season, right? Or increased honor for all of your alts. That way you're not just stuck with no honor, or it's faster for you to get honor to transfer to your alts, right? Vicious Bloodstones I mentioned. That's a good way to get gold for PvPers. I've made so much gold from just farming PvP and honor. Give it to them every 5 or 10 renown. That's great. That's awesome. Make it faster to do the renown. This gives you more experience throughout the Tyrant Pass. So just little things like this and make it so in the middle of the season, if you're queuing in the middle of the season, this is a free, and then a mount, right? So instead of, the Vicious, whatever, I don't know what it's called. Okay, Vicious Saddle. I guess that's what it is. I don't know what the eel, I think. Make the eel 100, right? All the way at the end of the renown, add the mount, right? Instead of just having it be X amount of wins, add the mount here, right? And then once you get the mount, bonus honor, bonus conquest, maybe conquest from this track.
Maybe the PvP enchantment, Like, I think something like this is very necessary to just get people to want to queue to get rewards. Because, at the end of the day, like pushing, I think a lot of WoW PvPers, they think that pushing rating is the most important thing. Like, you should only be rewarded if you push high ratings. But it's actually really dumb. What you actually want is a bunch of people to play. I remember reading a thread of someone, they looked up the Vicious Eel. It was on Reddit, I think. Like, I'm paraphrasing a bit, but basically they saw the Vicious Eel. They saw what they had to do to like earn honor and rated arena or whatever it is, rated PvP, and they queued rated solo shuffle. They said they played like 500 rounds. They never got over 1,200, and they got the mount and they loved it. They're like, yeah, I still don't know what Cyclone is, but I got my mount. Like, that was cool. All right, I'm done for the season. But like, I think just getting people to play the game is important, Like, people have it in their mind that, like, the thing that's going to fix WoW PvP is, like, they need a better Glad mount. But, like, I don't think it needs to be just for Gladiator. I think, like, they could have, I'm sure he's going to talk about this too, like, a mount that progressively gets better, depending on what rating you are. So, like, everyone kind of gets something cool and it just gets better. Like, people need goals. People need a reason to play. It makes it fun to log on for the season.
Track doesn't count towards your overall season cap, so you can go over cap and get geared a little bit faster because you're playing the game. I think there needs to be more rewards for people that actually play the game in the middle of the season.
Yep.
I know that sounds crazy.
No, it actually does not sound crazy. It sounds very reasonable.
Giving players MMR on tunes that they aren't playing is bad.
Here's even better.
Really do.
Here's even better. So, like, they already have the system in the game with, like, dragon riding. The dragon riding mounts, so they have a bunch of different armors, and we kind of saw this in his preview. Like, they could have different fixtures. Like, they could have a seasonal mount, right? And for the season, they could have different fixtures that go on that mount, and different fixtures could come from different brackets. So you could actually encourage people, like, maybe you're mostly a RBGer, but you could get this really cool fixture by experimenting in shuffle or threes. Or maybe you're a threeser and, you only like arena, but maybe there's this really cool, like, thing for your mount that you could get in Battlegrounds, like a delve mount, exactly, like a customizable PvP mount. If they can do it for delves, they can do it for PvP. All right.
I can go on any of my ults right now from last season that is not geared full greens, haven't played a single game, and I will queue a soul shuffle and I'll be 2600 MMR because I haven't played it. It's been getting the inflation every week that the season's gone by, and I'm in full greens, and I just ruined that experience for myself.
Oh my god, this happens all the time. I hate it.
I'm under geared, and it's just not fun. So I think a renown system would be fantastic. You could reset this, make it a super long reward track, and make it the entire expansion. Make it 500 or 600. I don't know, 300, 600. It doesn't matter. Like steps of that gives you gold, honor,
100%. Lots of collectors would play if you could collect past the lead sets. Yeah, I feel like I don't even care anymore. Honestly, I still don't. I still feel like I want my bounce to be exclusive. Like, hate me all you want, but I still like my Gladiator mounts exclusive. Maybe I'm biased there. I don't actually care that much. But like the old elite sets, I feel like they should bring back. There's no reason not to. Maybe maybe even if you completed like one of these reward tracks for the season, you got like a little token that lets you buy an old elite set. You know, something you really want. I don't know. It just feels like the sky's the limit, man. They could do so much.
Conquest, vicious bloodstones, increased honor, increased conquest, mounts, pets, recolors of precog. Imagine if you got an achievement for kicking players. You interrupted 1,000 players. Let's give you an animation every time you land a kick on somebody. Here's a flame animation around your character. Here's flames on your feet every time you kick somebody.
I like that.
Right? Like that's what we need. We need people. We need rewards. We need players that want to play the game and rewards that people can get at any MMR is the biggest takeaway. Not just for high rated, not just for low rated.
That's exactly right. That's what I'm saying. Not just for high rated people.
Everybody wants
people that like
that everybody
the
wants
PvP.
to achieve because that's cool. And you know what? If you earn it in PvP, it also works in PvE. So if you get the achievement where you interrupt 1,000 enemies and you get the flame feet, and guess what? In PvE, if you interrupt a mob, you get the flame feet too. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool. That would get PvEers to PvP without having to incentivize gear, because we've been down that road. They complained when I think it was BFA, when you had to get the legendary or whatever for doing random battlegrounds. They didn't like it. But it's still cool. It gives them the option. No, there is no increased competitiveness from this. You don't get anything that's going to make you win or lose a game. It's all cosmetic, but cosmetics is what's going to drive people to play the game. It's not the actual rating. Like 99% of players, 75% of players probably don't care what rating they are. They just want to get the reward. You know what I mean? Like, they don't care. They just want the animation. They want the cosmetic. Yep. They want the mount. And they give people reasons to do that in PvP, which is what I really think that's lacking. On the subject of MMR, by the way,
here we go.
I do want to say they should just give, and listen, I really haven't been in seasons where this has been the case. So if you're an experienced PvPer who's been playing longer than me, I only started PvPing in BFA, please let me know. But why don't they just give everyone MMR?
Camille says, Ven, bring back the old elite sets that I don't have, but don't give them the glad mounts that I have. That wouldn't be fair. Like WTF. Well, here's the funny thing is I actually earned all the elite sets. So I've been PvPing since season 1, right? And glad range since season 1. I've actually earned all the elite sets from like Kata and Mop on my mage and my monk. And I just don't have access to them. Even in WoD. So I have literal rank 1 titles from those seasons, and they wouldn't give them to me because I didn't keep them. This is before like you had a collection, you know, you actually had to hold on to the items to transmog them, and I just didn't hold on to them, so I lost them all.
At the start of the season, right? Cap it at 3K, and that's it. Just because right now,
but like
people
even if you're like, okay, I don't want them to bring back the old glad mounts, I don't want them to bring back the old elite sets, they could at least bring back recolors, right? That's the easiest thing they could ever do. I wouldn't even care, dude. If they bring back like the OG glad mount as a recolor, that wouldn't bother me. Or any of the old elite sets as a recolor wouldn't bother me. Like, I feel like that's the easiest middle ground.
First 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks, hardly anyone plays in between, right? I would say we lose about 60-70% of player base in the middle of the season. Just give it to everybody. Give everyone full MMR.
What's up,
You don't have to worry about inflation or anything like that. And then just this would help the high rated players get the high rating faster. Give them a win bonus, right? Where if you win 5 games in a row, okay, give them an extra little bit of MMR up to a cap of 3K, and then just let them play. Let everyone play. You know, let people get glad the first week of the season. It's fine. The race to world first last 2 weeks, where the best guilds in the world killed a mythic end boss in like 2 weeks on average.
Sometimes less.
That's the entire tier. That's like 6 months of players doing something, guilds doing that activity done in 2 weeks. Why not? Why can't it be the same for PvP? Why can't
it? Should be. I agree. Like, if you have Waz, Raikou, and Mech queuing up, they should get glad the first week. It doesn't make any sense that it's like the MMR system in WoW is just so bad. It's just so bad. I hate. There's so many things. Like he mentioned, getting MMR for just not playing is insane to me. Like I think you should get MMR if you're actively playing the game, and I part of me feels like you should lose MMR if you're not. That might sound crazy. I think rating decay might actually be a good thing if you're like top 100 on the ladder or whatever.
And PvPers get full MMR, bang out the Glad amount in the first 2 weeks when activity is high and everyone's around playing, and then they can just chill because that's what people do already. People are not playing the full season. They're not. So just give players the option of getting the Glad mount quickly, and then they can come back at the end of the season if they want to push higher, get rank 1 or get other rewards, or if we ever add the renown track, they want to push the renown halfway through the season. But at least give players the option to do that rather than this artificial deflation in every bracket. All right, here is my proposed reward structure.
Oh, here we go.
All right, this, I feel like it's a pretty solid one. I have it written down here, so I'm gonna go through it. So what I would recommend is this. I want rewards for every player in the game that PvPs.
Okay,
so
I agree.
1,000 rated, 1,000, you are gonna get a base mount. You're gonna get a mount, right? Let's just say you're gonna get a dragon mount, just like this. Well, without the wings, without the cool. The base mount is naked. There's like, it's red.
So you get some shit mount is what he's saying.
Just imagine this mount, just red. All right. At 1,400 or maybe 1,750, you add the flame glow to the horns, right? Cool. Now people can see, all right, that's a 1,750 player. That's cool. He's got the flaming horns. 2,100, the wings get like more red, right? You have flame wings, right? So 2,100,
okay.
You now see that player in this current season, by the way, is 2,100. That's very important because I feel like season to season, things can get a little muddy. No, it's per season. And then at 2,400, you get another animation and it breathes fire as an animation. So you can do the mount special and you get it breathes fire.
Okay.
And the animation gets cool. Something like that. Maybe it gets more armor. Like it gets armors on the wrists and the legs and the wings. And I think it needs the incremental changes in the mount for it to look cool. But most importantly is this should be achievable in any bracket, not just threes. And I don't care what people say. I get it. Threes is like the main PvP bracket. And I'm going to be honest with you.
Is it though? It was. I don't know if it is anymore.
If they bake Solo Shuffle into threes and they baked like BG Blitz into rated battlegrounds, I am all for it. I am all for it. Them rewards only coming from threes and RBGs, fine. But if we're gonna continue with 5 brackets in the game, they need to have rewards. There needs to be something for players to want. People, you want people to want to PvP, right? But if there's anything that this expansion have shown,
show the War Within Gladiator mount now, and we all go to sleep. Yeah, dude. I've never in my life been less incentivized. Like I've been playing the game for a long time. I have never felt less incentivized to push Glad. Like basically my thoughts on like Gladiator right now is like I'll push the last week of the season. The mount is so trash and I don't care. I'm so like empathetic towards it.
It's that people really want to feel cool. Right? Like this mount right here.
I don't think empathetic's the word I was looking for. What's the word I'm looking for? I just want to be clear on that one. I'm so apathetic. There you apathetic. Thank you. I knew someone was going to call me out on that, so I figured I'd get ahead of it.
Bro, a lot of people aren't playing just because this mount is awful, and I'm like 5 wins off by the way, only 0.12% of people have the first season Glad mount, which that's an issue in itself as well. I'm like 5 wins off the Glad season 2, and only 0.01% of people have this mount. They need to add a base model that players can build up, add armor, add animations to it as they progress higher rated, and make people want to keep pushing to make it look cooler. And you know what? Just add a different recolor, right? Let's just say you got 2,400, you got Gladiator in threes, right? Make the color of the mount and the armor green. In twos, if you...
Dude, you know what's so funny about this mount? Like, that mount is actually worse than, like, the Venthir mount. I actually think the Venthir mount you get just for, like, doing the Venthir starter quest or whatever it is. Like, this is, no kidding, just a better version, cooler than that mount. Like, I think if this was the Gladiator mount, it would actually be better. This is unironically way cooler than the Glad mount. And you literally just got this for free doing the Venthir starter. Like, look at the glow effects on the wings. I'm not kidding you, bro. Like, look at this. This is actually a better Gladiator mount. Why would anyone care about it? Why? Like, this is way cooler. It's the same model, except just way cooler. All right, thank you.
You hit 2,400 in twos, and you got 50 wins above 2,400 there, make it blue. And do the same thing. BG Blitz, make it purple. And in Solo Shuffle, make it orange. Something green. I don't know. Something different than the other brackets. And you know what? Take it. And same with RBGs. I'm not gonna forget about your RBGs. I won't forget about it. Make it like black, like a really cool black or something like that. And you know what? Take it a step further. If there is a player that is able to get 2,400 in every single bracket in the same season, they should be
Rainbow. Hear me? Rainbow. No, I'm kidding.
Rewarded for that. Give them like jewelry for the mount. You know, give it like a chain or something. You know, a gold chain around the neck of the mount. Give it. I don't know.
Give it a top hat, baby. You know, bling it out. Give it a diamond ring.
Something badass. Give it a sick animation, a unique animation, something like that to make players want to queue not just in one bracket or two, but in all of them. But again, it's just cosmetic. But you're gonna make people that normally queue daily queue other brackets that aren't just the one that they want to play, without having any risk of anything competitive. It's all cosmetic. It's all things like that. So
I like being rewarded for playing all the brackets. That's what I was saying. Like, it would be cool if you earned different bits of armor from different brackets, you know, or like there was like different cosmetics. I don't know. I just feel like if someone was passionate about it and they like, the thing is, I think it's important to say there are people at Blizzard that are passionate. They work on the game. They play the game. They love the game. They have ideas, but they just don't get to do anything. So I just want to say that, because when people say there's nobody at Blizzard that cares, it's actually not true. There's a lot of people that care. It's the higher ups that don't care. They don't care.
My idea would be to have a base model. As the player gets higher rated in any bracket, you can get different rewards for it, different armor, and then it's already in the game. Like this is.
They said, Ven, they need you at Blizzard. Guys, I'm trying to tell you something. Like, there are people that like the game as much as me, that play the game almost as much as me, that have ideas of, like you guys are saying, there's already people at Blizzard that are kind of like me, but they just can't do anything. So this
is already in the game. They have this pad right here where you can customize your dragon riding mount. All they would have to do, it's right here. The system is right here. Full transformation, Draconic Gladiator. All you need to do is add armor, animation.
Yeah, let's do it.
Like wing color. Like that. And then they just gray out, 3v2 or 3v3 color, 2v2. And then just grayed out, right? This is grayed out because I didn't do, a Burris, the Shadowed Crucible. Okay. And then it would just be grayed out because I only got 2,400, 50 wins above 2,400 in twos. So it's only going to give me purple. Right? But you know what? I got 50 wins in RBGs and now it's red. It's already in the game. Like, that's kind of where my frustration comes from. Is it's right here, right? It's like right there. All these things are right here, and you could change these colors. All they have to do is recolor it. I mean, it could be more complicated than that. I'm gonna be fair. Could be more complicated than that. That's fine. Okay, but it would be so cool. It would be so. By the way, look at this Christmas. It would be so cool to be able to just play any bracket you want and get a cool badass reward from it. Yep. And that's what I want. I want any player to play any bracket and get something cool, rather than just having to wait until the last 2 weeks of the season to try to get a mount.
Yeah, the cat's out of the bag, guys. All the players have the same tendencies, you know? Play the first 2 weeks, get your elite sets, maybe get your weapon enchant, log off until the last 2 weeks of the season. That's the game right now. And it's been like that for a long time. Like,
right now in the middle of the season, 99.99% of people don't have this mount, and you're not even gonna mount it. I mean, let's be real. We're not even gonna mount it, right?
It's like one of the rarest mounts in the game, and it's dog shit.
Like, it's just not possible. Even this is the coolest mount, and only 0.22% of people have it. You know, if people feel like they can't achieve a reward, they're not gonna go for it. So let's give players something cool and fun.
You played someone at 3s, you love WoW. I love WoW too, bro.
To all the other brackets, you want players to want to play, and you want to give people a reason to play the game, something to strive for, something that they can put work into and feel like it wasn't a waste of time. Like, you got a cool mount out of it. You can flex it to your friends, which is cool. And the issue with flexing these mounts to your friends is it's hard to flex a mount to players if no one plays PvP. So I think they need the most important thing, the biggest design thing that I feel like they need to do is make more players want to PvP. And that is, in my opinion, the best way to do that would be the reward track.
Wow.
the renown track in the middle of the season, in case a PvEer gets bored, maybe they want a little extra gold, maybe they want to get a vicious bloodstone, maybe they want increased honor, and then have incremental rewards as the season goes on. Add armor to the mounts, add colors, add animations, stuff like that. I think is the best way to get more players to want to PvP.
Yeah, it's
Aside
good.
from mounts, the weapon enchants, I don't know when they changed them. Genuinely, if there was someone that knows, I only started PvPing really in BFA, but I remember the red enchant used to be so red. Just bring those back. That was another main motivator for me in Legion, actually, was to get this green enchant, because I thought it was so cool. It matches Mistweaver so well. It's so cool. I feel like the particle density kind of got lowered. All you have to do is reskin the red enchant to a different color. There's no reason to overcomplicate it. The animations on the new enchants, they're cool. Like, don't get me wrong, they're cool, right? Where are the appearances?
Here, let's look at them real quick. So, like, some of them are cool. I do feel like we've been getting a lot of brown ones, you know, like, I don't know if you guys have noticed, we've got this brown one. PvPers are getting a lot of brown. You know, I know it's the war within and we're going deep into the earth, but they're all just brown. Brown. I do honestly believe, though, like, Primal Storm was amazing. I think this was a great PvP enchant. I think Shadow Flame was... I actually love Shadow Flame. I even think Verdant Crush is cool. So, like, some of the ones in Dragonflight were good, in my opinion. In my opinion, some of the ones in Dragonflight were actually good. But he's talking about, like, the mega ones, like Demonic Tyranny, Glorious Tyranny. What else we got? Primal Victory. They don't have that much particles on this particular weapon, but yeah, those are like the ones that everyone was excited about. We had some dark times in the PvP community with Void Edge. Yeah, that one wasn't ideal. Sinful was kind of okay. This like dark one, he's actually using it right now. Unchained, okay, you know. Unbreakable Resolve's a little bit weird, but I think for the most part, people like things like this, like the Shadow Flame. Primal Storm, I think, is cool, like I said. Yeah, some good ones.
The items, the animations are cool.
Void Edge is from PvE. Okay, I apologize. I was wrong about that.
You know, the Holy Fire.
Thank you for correcting me, guys. I appreciate it.
But you don't have to overcomplicate it. I feel like PvPers, they don't need the big animations. All they need is a recolored version of the red enchant. I don't even... Oh, does this guy have it? I don't think this is the red enchant. It might be. Is this? No, it's not. It looks similar, but no, that's not it. But just a recolor of those. There's like 16 million colors. Something like that. Just give us a recolor of the red enchant every season, or add it to a renown track, and PvPers will be happy. I promise. Finally,
dude, I'm pretty sure. I'm not kidding you. I'm pretty sure that weapon enchant had so much particle density that it actually lagged people out. I'm dead serious. Like, if you look at this, so if you get this one right here, this weapon, and you put on, where is it? Look at this. This used to actually like blow up people's graphics card, so they nerfed it. Everyone running around with this thing.
Finally, I saved this for last because this will be the most unpopular thing I say in this video.
Oh, let's hear it.
And I'm aware of it, and I'm okay with it, but I've had this opinion.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Okay. We want more people to play PvP.
That seems reasonable.
In my opinion, you need to offer players something that will give them something unique. So in my opinion, I feel like once per season, per account, if you reach 1,800, I think 1,800, they should give you a token to buy an old elite set. And before anyone says anything, they should also give you the option to get a second token if you hit 2,700. All right, so if you're 1,800 and you're trying to push 1,800, they could change it. You know, 1,800 is a little too easy, they think. All right, push it to 1,900, that's fine. One token.
You said this, so I actually like the idea more that these tokens, we did say that. You guys are saying that I said that. I actually think I like the idea more that you get it at the end of like a battle pass type thing. You know, like you play through the seasonal battle pass, at the end you get a token for an elite set. I like that more than like you have to get 2,400 or whatever, to be honest with you.
Per season, per Blizzard account, whatever, just make it so people can't like spam it or whatever, gets more players, I guess. You can get a token that allows you to buy an older elite set. There are so many old elite sets in the game.
One more thing that pisses me off. Can I tell you something? This really grinds my gears. Okay? So I just want you guys close your eyes for 1 second, okay? Like, it's the start of a brand new season. You log on, you start queuing shuffle or 2s or 3s, you hit your 1800. Like maybe you don't hit it. Like, yeah, you're an experienced player. You hit 1800, you get your elite set. You unlock the entire elite set before you get the gladiator set, which makes no sense at all. Can we just acknowledge that? Why do you get the full elite set before you even unlock the base set? I've never understood that. Like, at least make the base set something you can unlock. Like, I don't get it.
Some of them players, it was so long ago they weren't even born. It's just not fair. You know, it's really not fair. And then you're also encouraging players on the top end of the bracket to also strive.
I think Blizzard thinks 1800 is too hard, but you should at least unlock them both or something. I don't know. Or unlock the normal set sooner.
For that reward by hitting 2700, also getting that token. And I know a lot of people are going to say, but my tier set, you know what? Can I be honest with you? My favorite mount in the game is this mount in the game. Do you think I played TBC? I don't even know when this mount came out. Genuinely don't know when this mount came out. Does anyone complain about the Swift?
It came out in vanilla, Mystical. God, this guy is such a retail player.
Tiger be on the black market auction house. I have never once gotten a whisper from somebody being like, you know, you're ass of the game. You bought that. That's awful. You're terrible. I've never gotten that once. This does not diminish this mount at all. This is the coolest mount in the game. Did you know that you can get the Plagued Proto Drake? Does it show up? You can get the Plagued Proto Drake from the black market auction house, which is Naxxramas achievement during Wrath of the Lich King. I have not seen a single person complain that you can buy this off the black market auction house. Tier 3 set, the Dreamwalker set, tier 3 that everybody can buy off the black market auction house. Where don't hide from me. I have never once had someone come up to me while I was wearing.
Everyone can buy. I mean, it is a little expensive. It's not that easy.
Wearing this set and say, I bought it off the black market auction house. I'm off of the game. It diminishes their Dreamwalker set from tier 3. I've never had that happen. I only see those people on Twitter that complain about it. It's not a real thing. If I saw somebody with the elite set from WoD, right? Because Mistweaver, you know, we got some decent elite sets. If I saw somebody with the WoD elite set, do you think I would whisper them and say that they're like terrible at the game and like you diminish my achievements by doing that? No, I would not. This is from Legion. I would never. I want people to want to play the game.
I would.
And I feel like this would be a fantastic way. This is actually a really cool elite set right here. This was one of my favorites. This was actually one of the reasons why I tried so hard a little bit. I started PvPing in WoD. It was for this elite set. I think it's fantastic. I would never even. I honestly wouldn't even recognize this on somebody. Probably.
Yeah, I earned this, but I don't have it. Like I earned this, and I don't have it. Sadly.
Probably. The argument for old elite sets not being in the game, and I know this is gonna be unpopular. It makes no sense to me. There are already things that I can buy off the black market auction house that are you cannot get anymore.
I think it's a fair, like it is a fair the best example ever is like if you go to some of the old sets, like let's look at here, let me just quickly let's go to all right, here we go. Like this, like we'll look at this. We'll compare the fierce gladiators versus Chi-Ji's battle gear. So one of these comes from Raid, one of these comes from PvP. I do think one of the best arguments I've ever heard, and it makes sense, is like, why can you go back and farm this elite raid set, which is actually really cool, but it's impossible to get this set? Why? And I'm like, there's really not a good reason, to be honest. There's really not a good reason. Like, if you can go back and farm the mythic raid sets easily, I kind of feel like it makes sense. You can get the PvP ones too. You know? Maybe I'm crazy. I think you might have kind of a point. Like, why is this impossible to get, but this you can just go farm really quickly? I don't know. You know, why is this impossible to get, but you can go get this? I'm not sure. But maybe he has a point.
You can't. You cannot get them anymore, and no one complains about them. It's just, I guess it's fine for some things, but not PvP sets. Doesn't make sense. They should absolutely bring some version, and there's so many cool elite sets too that are just sitting on the vendor and no one's going for them. Give people and one more thing about the old elite sets. Make the token 2100. 2100 players now are infinitely better than 2100 players back when they were current. A 2100 player in the War Within is better than a 2100 player in Mob, hands down. I would make that argument, and I feel like that is extremely accurate. The game has gotten faster, it's gotten better, players have gotten better. it's the argument isn't there for me. Makes no sense. That's why I feel that they also need to add a PvP.
It's all like, the only thing I'd say about this is it's all relative skill, right? Like, of course, as a whole, the game has gotten harder. Players are better. There's way more access to information. Players are getting the skill cap UI, but it's like, it's relative, you know, like if you go back and watch Vertney, like Vertney PvP in vanilla, it's like, yeah, the shit he's doing, there's probably 500 mages in the world that could do that right now, like easily. All that stuff is not that impressive, but it's because it was at the time, you know, when he's like pioneering it. So it's like
on the renown track.
It's different.
Put it on the renown track at 100 instead of a rating, right? Instead of
I don't necessarily disagree with him, but I'm saying like like when it's hard to compare like the skill of players at different times.
Anybody can get it, and then all of a sudden, guess what? You're gonna have PvEers. I'm like, man, I really wanted that WoW Elite set. Now I gotta do some random battlegrounds. Maybe I do some rated battlegrounds. Maybe they like it and they queue arena. That's what PvP needs. That's what they need. They need players that are new or maybe even experienced to come back and PvP, give players a reason to do that. And I think this would be a fantastic way to get more players into the game. And that is it for me. I don't know how long this video is, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even know if I'm gonna post it because I actually made a video like this going into the War thing, like at the end of Dragonflight, and I fully edited it and I never posted it because I do know that there are a lot of opinions in PvP. And I know
this is great. We love this video.
Some people are more stern with certain things than others. I just truly, my goal is I want people to play PvP and enjoy the game and have fun, right?
That sounds like totally reasonable. It's a great video.
At the end of the day, it's just a video game. These are just pixels on the screen. I want people to enjoy it and have fun. But most importantly, I just want more people to PvP because it's very hard to play, but I feel like it's very, very rewarding to learn. So that is it for me. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. I hope this was helpful for anyone. Maybe there's a slight chance someone at Blizzard watches it. Maybe not, probably not, but that's okay. I just want to get my thoughts out there. Maybe there's like a good idea that someone at Blizzard maybe can follow up on. So that is it for me. Hope everyone has a fantastic rest of your day. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you later.
I love Mystical. I like I said, I remember stumbling across Mystical's content. Always been a big fan. Super nice guy. If you guys haven't already subbed to his channel, you can see that I am subbed to the channel, and you should be as well. So make sure you check out Mystical the Monk on YouTube, especially if you're a Mistweaver. Great video. Wait it. Comment, and make sure you guys comment, like the video, boost it on the algorithm, share it with your friends, and all that good stuff. All right, cool. That was great.